Hello, and welcome to some horrifying tales told on r/nosleep. This first one was posted by a Reddit user called Iskander Khan. On Saturday morning, I packed up my car and prepared to drive out to my girlfriend's house in rural Maine. We've been dating for almost a year now, so over the past few weeks she's been hassling me to drive out to Winterville in northern Maine to go meet her parents. Since summer is ending and school is due to start back up soon, I decided I'd drive out, spend the weekend there, and drive us both back to Boston in time for studies to commence. About 5 hours into the journey, I'm getting closer to Baxter State Park. This huge area of woodland and lakes is stretched out on either side of the road. It's beautiful, but pretty isolated. I hadn't seen any signs for rest stops for quite a while. So when nature started cooling, I was forced to pull over and see things the old-fashioned way. The trees weren't so dense at the side of the road, so I wandered off into the woods to find a decent spot. I found one, did my thing, and started to turn back, when I heard something through the trees. It sounded like people, hushed voices and footfalls among the fallen leaves. I peered through a patch of dense brush and into a small woodland clearing. There stood 3 or 4 men, all wearing ragged cloth masks around their faces. Each had some kind of weapon in their hands, machetes, bowie knives. One of them had a rusted spiked club that looked like it could have been 100 years old. "What's the matter, girl?" one of the men hissed. "Cat got your tongue?" as he waved the rusted spiked club tauntingly at something beneath them. I noticed a grotesque about the man's hand. It was horrifically burned and scarred with 2 fingers missing at the knuckle. It looked more than a claw than a hand. Between them, hog-tied and writhing in the dirt, was a young woman, her body a mosaic of brushes and abrasions. I couldn't believe what I was seeing. Never in my life had I heard anything so upsetting as the noises she made through a cloth gag. When I finally unglued my eyes from the sight before me, I looked up at the monstrous-looking clawed man, looming over the protest girl. He looked no, through the bush I was hiding behind. He was looking at me, and with one smooth motion, he raised a little finger to his lips. Shh. The rest is kind of a blur. I remember sprinting to my car, hearing the men whooping and howling through the trees behind me. I remember watching my rear view for miles and miles and miles. I remember pulling into the first gas station I came across and calling the cops. I managed to pull myself together somehow, using the gas station's phone and guzzling down Snapple, while the attendant listened to the detailed through his map of the gate. I told the cops I'd be staying in Maine for a few days, giving them the address of my girlfriend's house, so come deputies would come collect a statement. By the time I hung up, I was exhausted. I'd been driving all day, and I still had an hour or so to go. I picked up a few Red Bulls for the rest of the journey, and set off to finally meet my girlfriend's parents. As I pulled into the driveway for their large colonial home, I didn't worry about being so late. I certainly did have a damn good excuse. Well, my girlfriend did seem to care. She was just so happy I was there. We hugged, and we soon met her mum, who practically squealed with delight when she saw me. You can see where my girlfriend got her eyes and smile from. It was a joy, and I had no idea why I had been so reluctant to meet them in the first place. When I walked into the house, her dad was sitting at the kitchen table. His smile was warm as he rose from his seat, walking around the table to meet me at the doorway. "Nice to finally meet you, kid," he said, holding out a hand for me to shake. I took it. When I did, something odd felt about his grip. I looked down, feeling my heart begin to race when I saw it. His hand was horrifically burned and scarred, with 2 fingers missing at the knuckle. "Oh, don't worry about that, kid. Work accident, almost 20 years ago now," he laughed. I couldn't say a word. I just stood there, feeling my hand begin to shake in his grip. "What's the matter, kid?" he asked, as the warm and friendly look left his eyes. "Cat got your tongue?" This next one was posted by a user called Alec2004. This is really fucking weird. Look, I don't have a huge amount of time to explain, but I'll try my best. Basically, a few days ago, I was studying for my biology exam. I don't live in the northern hemisphere, so exam season is right around the corner. Unfortunately for me, however, my first exam is biology, which I hate. It's not that it's hard, in fact. In my opinion, it's the easiest science. It's just boring. It takes ages to memorize the little terms you need to know. Alleles, phenotype, genotype, there are millions of them. But what I was struggling to get was not a term, but a process. Meiosis. It's when, well, I don't really know. Which is exactly why 3 days ago, I was on the 10th page of Google looking for a website that could simplify it for me. Which is when I found it. To be honest, I'd never heard of this site, but at that point, I was just getting desperate, I think. I'd already gone back to my science teacher twice asking about it, and I still don't understand. I mean, it's not like I can ask a third time. That would be embarrassing. Not like I can ask my friends either. I'm supposed to be the smart one in the group. English, history, every other class I excel at, which is why I found myself reading through biology at 11 PM on a Sunday night. Anyway, I stopped reading the big block of text on the site after a minute. All the information was crap. There's no examples and it barely related to meiosis whatsoever. I was already in a pissed off mood, but then this just topped it off. So you can imagine what I wrote in the box when it asked for feedback. 2 paragraphs insulting the site and the creator later. I looked at my watch and saw it was probably time for bed. The studying could wait. When I woke up in the morning, I opened my laptop, see what I had written the previous night, with a little icon below it saying submitted. I was surprised. I don't usually get that annoyed, and looking back on the situation from the next morning, I thought that was really kind of dumb. But after I showered, I'd brushed my teeth, eaten breakfast, and I was on the bus to school. I'd forgotten about it. Fast forward to my library period, and I was reminded of it with a new email from mj **@gmail.com. Who the hell is MJ? I thought to myself when I clicked on it. The email itself had no subject, but it read, "Hey, thanks for your criticism about my biology website. I'll improve it over the next week. Really, I will. Actually, I'll send you another email when my improvements utilising your feedback start. I don't have anything to do today, so I'll start right away. Yours sincerely, MJ." Weird, I said to myself. Shrugging it off, I figured whoever MJ would spam me with emails for a little while, then stop. And both of us would move on. To be honest, I felt kind of bad for the guy. I took out my anger on him and his website, just because I was having trouble studying. Just like the morning, I forgot about my encounter with an email stranger when I got another email that night from this mysterious MJ. It was a link back to the biology website, except now a couple of text blocks about something vaguely to do with meiosis. It was just a photo. Not even a strange photo, not at first. It was a picture of an interstate, taken from presumably a dash cam. However, upon closer inspection, I saw that the big sign above the highway, was a sign for the next turnoff. Turnoff had some text written above it, which was, I leaned in, the name of my town. I let out an audible gasp. What the fuck is going on here? I thought to myself. There's no way, but some random tracked me down and came after me over a comment I left on a shitty biology website. Is there? I mean, I don't know, there are some strange people online, but I didn't know. And stupidly, I didn't tell my parents. Somehow in my head, I justified it as a hoax. It's just a Photoshop, I thought. It's impossible to track me. I'm pretty sure I was using my VPN, in fact. I probably did the worst possible thing by just carrying on as usual and going to bed. Next day was a Tuesday. And like every other Tuesday, I woke up wanting to bite the end of a shotgun. Math, science, and economics, my three worst classes, all took place on Tuesday. However, I somehow managed to rally myself and made it to the bus on time. At school, it was another boring day till halfway through the third period. To economics to go for a walk around the school and maybe camp out at the toilet stall for 15 minutes and look at my phone when I saw it. Another email from NJ. Again, no subject. And again, the only text is a link to that fucking biology website. I sighed and silently prayed to God that whatever MJ had sent me wasn't taken from inside of my house or anything. It wasn't luckily, but it wasn't reassuring by any means. It was a photo taken from atop a hill on top of the south side of my fairly small town. The caption, "Guess who's in town?" The thing is, even though my town isn't exactly big, it is very spread out, and the hill had been clearly taken the photo from only looked down on a dozen or so houses, one of which obviously being mine. I was shocked. Was that coincidence or intentional that my house was in frame? Is this person just a determined troll, or is he actually going to do something malicious? That's it. I had to tell someone. Walking back to economics, I went over to my friend Oliver's computer. Both my laptop and phone were now out of charge, and asked him to look up the biology turned stalker website for me. He gave me some weird looks, but I convinced him to enter the URL code, and typing up to Oliver's expression turned from curiosity to confusion. The website was blank, like nothing was ever there. I felt like a right fucking idiot after that. Turning to Oliver, I wasn't quite sure what to say. Look dude, I know there was a photo there. Yeah, whatever. I know you might not like me saying this, but you should probably stop smoking for a bit. Take a tolerance break. It's messing with your head. No, this isn't something I dreamed up while high. I swear, man. Obviously, whatever. Okay, I need to study. With that, Oliver plugged his headphones back in, and went back to drawing graphs about the demand and supply of bricks after an increase of price of clay. Yeah, see why I hate economics. Anyway, I think my interaction with Oliver made me much more hesitant to tell anyone about it. While lying in bed that night waiting for sleep to come, I figured that if there were any more photos close to my house, I'd tell my parents and the police. I'd just have to show them on my phone or my laptop. It seemed that any other device couldn't load the page for some reason. It was really weird. I tested it on the family PC and even on my mother's iPad, and neither loaded anything when I typed in the URL code. It's not like I typed it in wrong. I made sure every key was correct. In any other situation, it would be really cool, making it so that only certain devices can access a website. Somehow, I managed to get to sleep that night. Wednesday unfolded very similar to Tuesday, so I'll spare you the crap details. Just like on Monday and Tuesday, I got another spam email from MJ in the late afternoon. This time, when I opened the link, I wasn't sure exactly what I was looking at. It was a grey surface with the number 60 on it. I was confused. Part of me wishes I stayed confused. But only half a minute later I was filled with dread. My letterbox is grey, and my house number on my street is 60. MJ had found my house. I can't go back home now. I think I'll go to the police. He knows where I live. I know he wants to do me harm. You don't just drive to my town just to say hi. It's in the middle of nowhere. I don't think that's going to do the police. Police won't do much though. He knows where I live. He probably knows everything about me. As I said, I can't go home. What should I do? I have no clue. And shaking my head, I'm so scared. I need help. I'm update if I'm able to.